Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to lecture 19 of AFM. Before this, I've previously uploaded lecture 18. 17 are on the syllabus of AFM, and the previous lecture, which was lecture 18, was on the professional skills of AFM. You will get all these lectures under my AFM playlist. And you can also download the slides. What you need to do is on my channel, go to About section, and under the About section, you will have AFM lecture. There's a link below which says AFM lecture. Click there and get and download all these slides. Now, this one will be focusing on your CBE platform. All the tools that you need, all the functions that you need to perform, what are the areas, how do you navigate from window to window, which option to use for what, all these things will be covered in AFM. But even though this is for AFM specifically, most of it are very general. You can use it for your other papers as well. Okay. Inshallah, in the next sitting, I'll be making for the other papers also. SBR, SBL, AAA, TX and all. Now, let's start. So before you go to your FM exam, you have to know this, okay? First, the ACCA exam practice platform, how does it look like? Then, contents of the CBE. These are the two important areas. So, all ACCA candidates need to practice their mocks on the CBE software, that is computer based examination. You should not write it on paper, it's not paper based any longer. Second, make yourself familiar with it before attempting the exam, because I know that some of you might be attempting on paper thinking in the exam I will do it on a CBE platform. It does not work that way. So the link, I've given you the link here. You can straight away go to the AFM exam practice platform with this link, but you need to log into my ACCA to do this. So someone who does not have a login to my ACCA, you need to get one, otherwise you cannot access these resources. That means you have to register online with ACCA. You have to be an ACCA student. If someone who is just planning to do AFM the first time and want to get these resources, you can't if you don't have the ACCA login. And it is not just for AFM, but for any paper, you need to have my ACCA login. To have all the other materials supporting you on CBA, you can access the link given below. Okay, you can go to your other papers also. There you will get the tutorial videos and all, how to access CBE platform and all. But mostly my video will be enough. I'll be covering every important area. I hope I'll be able to do justice with this, because I don't know whether I'll be able to cover each and every area or not. But at least 80 to 90% I'll cover in this video itself. Now, this is how your page will look like once you access the link which I've given you when you log into my ACCA. Okay, under AFM, if you go select the subject AFM, and there you go to CBE practice platform for AFM, it will take you to this page. This is the home page. As you can see here, just check the arrow. This is home. I've taken the screenshot, by the way. This is home. Once you can always submit your paper, and you yourself can marking scheme will be given, so all your marks results will be here. Okay, now as you can see, this whatever you select from this list on the right hand side, all the subjects are there. You can see even the F level papers are there, financial management, audit assurance and all. So here whatever you click will come on this left hand side under assigned material. If you have not assigned anything, nothing will come, it will appear blank. Okay, so you need to click this plus button to see more details in it, which I will show you shortly. What are they? Okay, you can do many different papers. You can assign as many papers as you want. Everything will come on this left hand side under assigned material, whatever you have clicked from here. Okay, suppose if I open advanced taxation, it will come on this side. Now, contents of the CBE. So the one which I've shown is the dashboard. Once you enter that, you will see that. This is how you need to do. You need to click on the right hand side, the subject that you want to do. There are two things that you need to take care of. Candidates can either assign a blank workspace. Blank workspace means it does not have any exhibits or any requirements. It's just blank for you to work on it. You can do anything you want there. This blank workspace is helpful if you are doing questions which are not there on your CBE. Not all the questions are available on your CBE platform, by the way. Only few latest questions, recent question papers are there. If you want to do all past papers, revision kit questions, that you can use your blank workspace for that, because your questions will be somewhere else. You can see that question maybe from your kit and all, and do the answers on the blank workspace. On the other hand side, you have ACCA official resources. This includes past papers, but mostly recent past papers only. Not all, maybe 3 to 4 or 2 to 3. Okay. My advice is always do the latest papers first and then go backwards. For example, if you are giving June paper, you should do March 2023, then December 22. So go backwards. Because what happens is some of you might think the other way around, and if you try to do from the very beginning and then come to the latest, you might miss out the time. You might get bored also. So go backwards so that at least you don't miss out the latest papers, recent papers. Because recent papers are the ones where professional skill marks are there. Earlier papers do not have that. Then you will understand how difficult a certain area is if you see the recent paper. I mean, obviously, I'm not telling you to, select the questions and try to predict that this question will come based on the past paper analysis, but it gives you an idea. Okay, what is recently being tested now. Okay, next. So whatever you do, as I told you, it will be added to your self-assigned material. Now let's go and I will show you how. So let's go in this one. As you can see, this I have opened from my page. That's why you can see my name here. Okay, I've logged in, and you can see the list. Since we are in AFM, let's go through AFM. So I will click here. You can see there are two things. One is ACC official resources. The other one is blank space. Let's see what is there in blank workspace. So there is one thing. You can always assign and unassign. Okay. Previously, I have assigned it. That's why it says unassigned. Okay. The moment I click on unassigned, it will not appear on this side. I will take you down and I will show you. See, self-assigned material. These are the material which I've done in the past. You can see I have SBR, AFM, SBL and all. Okay. The moment I click unassigned, it will go. So blank workspace is all about it. For all the other papers is the same. ACC official resources. Okay. There are two things. One, it is valid from September 2022 onwards. This is your concern. You have to practice first questions from here, then later from the past exam library. So see here, there are 4 papers valid from September 2022. The reason is professional skills are added from this time onwards, last year. And practice exam 1, practice exam 2, then we have pre-June 2023 mock, then we have specimen from September 2022 onwards. Specimen paper changes every year from September onwards. Okay, so 4 papers are there. Make sure do all the 4 papers. You have to do all the 4 papers. And once you do these 4 papers, even if you have not touched your past exam library, it does not matter. You still have a very high chance of passing this AFM paper. Then we'll go to the past exam library and see. Oh, there are so many papers there. Okay. Anyway, so this is 2022. And we have March, June 2022, 2021, September 22. But this September 2022 is based on the previous syllabus. Okay. Then 2021, old. Okay. So this, if you have time, you do. If you don't have time, leave it. But make sure you do from the new syllabus onwards. Okay, let's go roam around other papers and see how it looks like. So I will close this down. Let's say, okay, let's go to SBR. So when you go to SBR, you see here SBR has three things: international, Ireland, and UK. We have, and blank workspace, of course. Blank workspace is just one blank workspace, nothing is there. So we'll go to the international variant, and there is no change in syllabus, it's the same. So just ACCA official resources. You can go through specific and practice or past exam library. Just we'll go through practice exam and see. Better to go through practice exam. Okay, here also 4 papers are here. Make sure you do them, as you know that tomorrow is SBR. Okay, now let's go back to AFM. So once it's here on your this thing, okay, let's do one paper from AFM. Okay, let's assign one thing in AFM and see. So we'll click here, we'll quickly go to practice exam and let's go to mock assign. So the moment I assigned it, it came here. See, pre-June 2003 mock exam. So I will quickly click here. Okay, it's AFM. They will write the subject AFM. So they will tell you the time also when you have started. You can answer this paper at any time when you are practicing. Okay, but even if time limit is not there on your screen, on your real exam there will be a time limit. 3 or 15 minutes. You can see the clock. So my advice is, even when you are practicing, even if time is not there, make it a habit that you yourself put an alarm somewhere, sharp 3 or 15 minutes. Okay, and time yourself and practice. So let's start. I wanted to take you to the real scenario, how it looks like. You will see all the introduction and all will come, but it's not important. It just says that the paper is 3 or 15 minutes and all that thing. So you have to keep on clicking next, next, next till you come to the paper. So next, next, all these are instructions. Next, make sure that you don't have to read all this instruction on the day of the exam and waste time. Make sure that you read it before. At least once is enough. Okay, it basically tells you how do you highlight, how do you navigate through the windows, how do you use the rough paper, how do you use the calculator, all those things. And see what happens now. You see, the window is not allowing me to go to the next page because I have to read the entire screen. There are some differences between your practice and the live exam. It's given here. Check. Okay, in the live exam, your selected text will be in gray, and when you're actually doing it, here it will be in purple. You can see that. Some differences are there. Make sure that you go through these differences. Okay, take your own time and read it. Do read it. Please read it. Okay. Because I'm not covering it on my video, as that is going to take too much of time and time is short, and we just have 2 more exams to go, SBR and AFM. So now you can see here section A, section B. Next. Yes. Next. So you can see here. Okay. And you can see symbol here. You see, there are only 5 symbols. They will always give examples from those 5 symbols. Beyond this, they will not give you. So don't ask questions. What if they give some other symbols? No. So you just have to click and insert. That's it. Then you can have highlight here. Okay. See, the name of the paper will appear here. Okay. Whatever the paper you are giving. Then you can highlight always and change the highlight color. You can even remove highlighter. Then strike through. So if you want to cut something, just strike through. Calculator is here. Okay, you can always move around like this, and you can always zoom in or zoom out, make something smaller or bigger. For example, if you want to read something, I think calculator you can't do, but anyway, so let's say 65 by 9, enter. Okay, but remember, whatever you do on the calculator, you see, you cannot copy paste it like this. You see, it's not coming. You cannot copy paste it. You have to type it. That's why Excel for calculation is always better. But wherever small calculations are there, 1-2 line calculations, use the calculator. Now, scratch bed. This is your rough area. Whatever you want to do, rough working and all. If you do not want to include on your main working, put it here. Small workings you can use. Now, you can see here help formula sheet. Okay. So once I click here, it takes me through two things: workspace help and exam instructions. Okay, exam instructions, make sure that you read it on your own, take time and read it. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time there. And workspace help, okay, is there. I can see one thing is missing here, that is your formula sheet, right? Because earlier, in your earlier papers, this is mock, in your earlier papers formula sheet was there. You see, there was one. If you go here, people who have went through the previous paper, formula sheet was there. All your formula were copy pasted. It's not here. And one thing is added here, which is not there in the previous paper. That is your BSOP calculator. I'm going to discuss about it later on. Okay. Already it's here. Have a look. So this is another paper that I've opened just to confirm whether formulas will be there. Yes, finally. Good news is formula will be there. Why? Because in AFM practice exam 2, valid from September 2022, okay, it's a practice exam 2 on the new syllabus. And once I go here, there are 3. Formula sheet is also there. So you can go through this formula if you have not memorized it. And don't you, and I would say, when you are doing it, you don't need to write the formula anywhere. You just directly calculate in the Excel. Okay, for example, you can see here asset pricing model, then we have Modigliani and Miller proposition 2 with tax, we have asset beta formula. So when you're doing asset beta formula, for example, and you cannot even copy paste this formula, you see. So if you want to type this in the word processor, it's going to waste a lot of time. Don't do that. Okay, time management skill, learn it. So what would you do? For example, if you go to spreadsheet, okay, you will separately have a value. For example, VE is something, let's say something, and value of equity. Then say value of debt is something. Then cost of equity, KE, cost of equity is something. Okay, some number. And cost of, let's say, debt is something. So based on these numbers only, you can see. So how are you showing the formula? Here, when you do equal to. So what is it? What is the formula of asset beta? Oh, okay, let's do WACC because this has the WACC. Okay, WACC. So when you are doing WACC, it is value of equity divided by value of equity plus value of debt, and rest the function you can perform. Okay, or you can do separately. So when you are doing the function, or you can do separately like this part. The first part you can do separately in one cell, the other part separately on the other cell, like plus VD divided by VE plus D, and then add both them together and find the WACC. Or in one go also you can do the WACC. So this is how you are showing the formula. Rather than writing KE plus KD, don't do this. It's a waste of time. But when someone clicks here, examiner will click your cell wherever you have performed the functions. Automatically they can see that you have used the formula. This is how you show that you have used the formula. Okay. And you see here, the Black-Scholes option pricing model calculate is not here, but it will be there for you. Okay. Because the mock came after this practice exam. This came before mock. The pre-mock June 2023 is the latest paper. So if there you have Black-Scholes option pricing model, you will have it. Okay. And that you only have to use when options is there, real option is given to you. So now let's quickly go through the response options. So now the response options are word processor, spreadsheet, and slides. Yes, sometimes you might have slides, but slide is not for all the paper. It is mostly used for SBL. Okay, but we'll still learn the features of slide also, because this video you can use for your other papers, as I always tell. Starting with word processor. This is how your word processor will look like. You can see here you have so many tools here. All the description of this tool is given there under help formula button below. So make sure that you go through them. This one is to cut, copy paste, to make something bold, italic, underline, subscript, superscript, subscript, then paragraph, then you can justify, align, center, left, right. You can make tables here, bullet points, and one area is clear. That means it clears the entire screen. So be very careful before you use the button. If you click in this button also, they will give you a message that are you sure you want to delete. The other one is clear. You just clear whatever the things you want to cut. Next, use of word processor. This you have to use when your question says discuss, analyze, or evaluate. Okay. Advantages. You can type without entering new cells. You can easily split it into paragraphs. Bullet points you can use. Text can be easily aligned, justified, and you can use superscript and subscript like 4:2. Disadvantages are automatically Word cannot perform calculations. And if you want to have any numerical table, better to do it in Excel than the Word because it's difficult to label and align. Spreadsheet. This is how spreadsheet will look like. Okay. So here also you have similar bold, italic, underline. You can fill a cell with a number. Let's say you have a habit of filling a cell to show the final answer. Then you can do that. This is this one. Next to A, you can justify, center, align, or left or right. You can convert something to percentages. Percentage sign is there. And this is for dates. And this one, plus, 0.00 is a very important one which you will often need in AFM very frequently. Why? It helps you to show a number in a certain way. For example, you want to show a number as a whole number or in two decimal place, in one decimal place. Then click there. Accordingly, you can do that. Now, spreadsheet is used for calculations. Net present value, spreadsheet. Tax computations, goodwill, spreadsheet. Basic formulas will be there like sum, square root, average, and new thing which is added to your AFM syllabus, BSOP calculator. Okay, maybe you might you're not very familiar with this because I've never done it before, but make sure you do calculations on this also. Wherever questions which you have in the past from real option, pick them and use this calculator and see. Now, advantages, calculations, easily perform calculations, therefore saves time because Excel has formula inbuilt. Data can be aligned. Shortcut items like you can round a number, change to percentage. Then you can easily copy the table. Okay. Tables can easily be copied when calculations need to be reperformed rather than doing every time manually. Just do it in one cell and copy paste in the other cell. For example, tax computation for more than one person. Just do tax calculations for one person and copy paste and just change wherever changes are required. Financial statements, more than one company. If you want to show the impact on the financial statement, just show it once. Later on, you can just change the place wherever change is required. Like sensitivity analysis also. Spreadsheet is very helpful. Sensitivity analysis means you are changing one variable and seeing the impact, like on net present value. And column width, you can easily adjust to the label length. If your text of that cell is very big, but width is very small, you can adjust and make it big. Disadvantages are text. When you're writing text, it will carry beyond one cell. So it makes it difficult for the markers to follow through and read it also. Bullet points, difficult to use. Now we are coming to the BSOP calculator. This is only used for Black-Scholes option pricing model. In case if you are given a question on that, I'm assuming you are going to get a question on this. It's my gut feeling which is saying. Okay, so make sure that you learn on this area. For this sitting, which is on Friday, you are going to get a question on this. Okay. And remember, you don't have to do anything. It's all pre-programmed. The calculator is pre-programmed. You just have to enter the 5 key variables and you will get the results. See how much time is saved. Earlier you had to do so much calculations, right? This is how it looks like. PAPERTS. Price of underlying price, exercise price, interest rate, time, and standard deviation. You can see everything is now here 0.000. Now it's blank. You can type it. Automatically it will take all the variables here automatically. D1 will come, D2 is calculated for you, ND1, ND2, C and P. Okay, it tells you here. Enter from A3 to E3, from B5 to B10, automatically calculations are done. Slides. Slides will look like this. Okay, slide is used when it is for presentation. Requirement will tell you. Not common. Mostly it is common for SBL. Definitely in SBL you are going to get slides. There is no doubt about it. Advantages are, see, slide is not to be slide you cannot use to write something detailed. That is for word processor. For slides you only write very short, like in bullet points, in 2 or 3 words, because it is visually more appealing. Tables you can easily add. Titles that you give should be more, you should pay more importance to the titles that you give in slides. Okay, based on your title only they know what is there. Speaker notes you can add for detail and bullet points. And the best thing is, ideal slide would be around 3 to 5 bullet points in one slide, not more than that. 3 to 5, sometimes even 2, but don't write just 1 point under one slide. Okay, it doesn't make sense. At least 2 to 3 or 4 to 5, depending on your requirement. For example, they might tell you to prepare slides on advantages of treasury department, right? 2 to 3 advantages. Now, disadvantages of slide: limited space, details can't write. Second, cannot perform calculations. Next, so in summary, for discursive answer, word processing, calculation, spreadsheet, and presentation slide. Now, next slide onwards will be the screenshots of the tools to use for AFM and also the formulas. So this is how a page will look like. We just went through this. Okay, your exhibits are here. If you have to open a page detailed, you have to open the exhibits. Okay, but by just reading the heading of the exhibits, you will understand what it includes. For example, this is capital structure. This is for equity beta, asset beta. This is demerged company. The moment it is demerged, it should be accusation, something to do with accusation. Sometimes accusation and reconstruction together they give in one question. Okay, because they say accusation. So you have to understand this question is about business valuation. Okay, so they will give details about that particular area only. You will not expect a risk management question here. Okay, and all the requirements are here. But I always, when you open the paper, read the requirements first. I always advise that. At least If you are doing question 1, then at least just read the question 1 requirement. Or if you plan to spend the first 15 minutes of 3 hour on reading all the requirements, then you can read all the requirements. Requirement 1, 2 and 3. 3 requirements are there. 3 questions are there. Or accordingly, for question 1, if you want to attempt question 1 first and then read question 2 requirement, then question 3, that's also fine. But start with the requirement and then go to the exhibits in detail. It really helps a lot. Same advice I give for my SBL students, same advice I give for other papers also. First requirement, because then you know what you are looking for in the exhibits. Exhibits will have calculations and numbers also. Discussions also about a company, their background, what is their future plan, what happened in the past, all those things they will give. And if you want to go next and previous, here you can go. Next will take you next page, previous will go to previous. And navigator, you can use the navigator to see the status of your questions. In your navigator you can see questions that you have attempted, questions that you have not attempted. Automatically, if you write anything in the response option and when you go to the navigator, here it shows it's attempted. So don't be a fool when it says it's attempted. You have to make sure that you have done all the requirements, because it is like that. It is programmed like that. Anything filled in the response option, whether in spreadsheet, try it for yourself and check today at home. Word processor spreadsheet, it shows in the navigator question 1 attempted. It's always like that. So you have to make sure. So through navigator, you can see which question attempted, which question not attempted. If it's blank, it's not attempted. Sometimes what happens, even if it shows attempted, you have an option to show it's unattempted. Maybe you have some questions left. Maybe you want to come later and do that question. So always use the navigator to see to it that you have attempted all the requirements completely. Because sometimes students have a habit that they come back later and do. So how do they know? They might have forgot that later they have to come back. That's why navigator is useful. You can click there unattempted. Then you will know at the end of the exam you have some parts unattempted in question 1. So let's go back and do. And obviously help and formula sheet here. All the rules, regulations are there. I don't think a candidate needs to read them also on the day of exam. It's the same. Now, if you have so many windows open, you can open so many windows at the same time, by the way. You can have 2-3 exhibits on the screen, then response option also. Sometimes you might want to close entirely everything, then you can choose close all or close individually one by one by pressing the cross button. You can always resize, by the way, because you see if you open any of it, the window is very small. Even the font is very small for you to see. So in that case, on your right hand side, you can always diagonally, you can drag it. It makes the screen bigger and bigger. Or you have a zoom function, the magnifying glass function is there. You can make it big and read it and see. And then once you are done, you can again resize it to make it small and read your other exhibits. Like that you can do. So this is flag for review. So this is what I was talking about. You keep a red flag, it shows a red flag, by the way. Flag for review means you have to come back and do it again. It's not done. Okay. Now, this are all the functions in Excel for AFM that you might be using it. So I know candidates are very lazy. I'm sorry to say that. It's all these functions are there, by the way, under your help formula function. But I know that not many of you will go there and search for it and actually read it in detail. So what I have done is I've made it very easy and accessible to you by providing it here. Okay, it covered all the functions. But if you want to know the detail also, you can go under help formula function below at the left hand side, and under worksheet, right, workspace help, you can read there. It's very down. You have to keep on scrolling in the function. You can read. But since I've included it here, I don't think you have a reason to go back, because I've made it very crystal clear and to the point. I have not given the long descriptions. I've omitted it. Only the things which you need and the formula. That's it. Sum function. Sum function you need it very often. Very frequently you need it. Okay. So this sum function could be done in two ways. You can either include from B2 to B8, just drag the cell. That means all the cell from B2 to B8 will be added. B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, B8. The other way is specifically some numbers only you want to add in that cell, not the entire. Then you have to put a comma. The two dots will automatically come if you just drag it. But if you have to add separately, let's say from B2 to B8, only three cells. Sorry, A1 to A5. So A1, A3, A5 only you want to add, not A2 and A4. How will you do it? Just put a comma. Don't drag the cell A1, comma A3, comma A5. So A1, click a cell, comma, click the next cell you want to add, comma, click the next cell that you want to add, comma. Close the bracket. Another thing, whatever function you have to use in Excel, you need to first put the equal sign. If you don't put the equal sign, function will not come. Excel will not perform the function for you. Whatever equal sum, then only you can do. Equal sign, equal sum bracket. Open the bracket, close the bracket. Always be very careful with your brackets, okay? Sometimes it does not perform the function for you. If bracket is not there, it will show an error sign or something like that. Next, average, commonly used. Average is very same like function. It just drags the cell. But be very careful. Sum and function can only be done on numbers. If you have text in one cell, it will not do the average for you. It should be cell with full of numbers. That's why I say when you have a text to write somewhere in a cell or a number, put all the numbers aligned like in one row, in one column, and text in another one. So that it becomes very easy for you to perform the function. If you put cell in text in one thing, next to it you are putting numbers also, it should not be mixed. Text and number should be kept separately, because it becomes very difficult for you to perform the function. Otherwise you cannot drag the cell. Then you yourself have to type the number or copy paste from this cell to the next cell. It becomes a headache. Okay. Square root. Square root you need in your Black-Scholes option pricing model, but since now Black-Scholes option pricing model is there, you will not need this for real options. Okay, but still know the formula. Okay, square root also it will take of a number only. Let's say, see, these are imaginary cells. Okay, it's not fixed J11, just some random for you to understand. Square root of the number that you want to take of any cell. Just click any cell. So square root of J11. J11 is a cell. Let's say in J11 the number is 4. So square root of 4 will be 2. It will give you 2. Next, count. It's very similar to sum or average. Just drag the cell from C4 to C8. And remember, when you're counting, let's say in all the three cells that you're counting, C4, C5, C6, sorry, C4 to C8, let's say that cell has numbers in it. So it will count. Let's say there are C4, C5, C6, C7, C8. 5 cells are there, right? So it has numbers in it. So the count will be 5. Remember, sum will add, it will not add. Count means it will just count how many elements are there. So 5 are there. In C4 there is 1, C5, C6, C7, C8. So 5. But if all the numbers are there, if the cell is empty, it will not count. If the cell has a text, it will not count. Only number. The cell should have the number in it for to count. Power. Power. Power bracket. First thing should be the number, comma the power. Power could be anything. Power could be to the power 2, to the power 3, to the power half, anything. So for example, like this. The number that you want to take is 3 and the power is 2. So it will take 3 to the power 2. That's how it works. Power should be the last number, okay? After comma. Number then power. It should not be the other way around. Otherwise, Excel will not perform it correctly. If you want to show 3 to the power 2, you first have to write 3 and then the power. That is 2. You cannot write 2 first and then 3. Power should come later. So 3 to the power will give you 9. That is 3 squared. Another example to understand it better. If you want to know the cube root of 27, still power function will help you. Because you don't have a function for cube root separately. You have to use the power only. How do you use it? So number is 27. power is 1 to the power 3. Cube root means to the power 1 to the power 3 only. I mean, sorry, 1 divided by 3 only. If you want to find the square root, I mean, sorry, not the square root. Let's say 27 to the power 1 divided by 5. That also you can do. Anything, any power you can use. Square root, cube root, fourth root. Okay. So the square root, cube root of 27 is 3. Okay. Now, round. And if you want to recheck also, you can check manually if you know whether it's correct or not. So cube root of 27 is 3. Do 3 to the 3, it's 27. But have your trust on Excel. I know some of you don't even trust Excel also. Have your trust in Excel. It will give you whatever you input, provided your input is correct. Okay, that you have to check. Your number that you enter should be correct in your function. I mean in your formula. Otherwise, it will give you wrong answers. Then you cannot blame the Excel, blame yourself. Round. Wherever you have to round something to a whole number, to one decimal place, two decimal place, you can use this function. So first is the number, then how many digits you want it to round. For example, there is a number in cell C4. You want to round it to two digit number. So you have to write 2, comma 2. If you want to round it to 3 digit number, comma 3. If you wanted to round it to whole number, okay, whole number means no digit, 0.000 as a whole number, comma 0. Okay, comma 0. Now, logarithm. This is also for real option. But since Black-Scholes option pricing model is there, you might not need this. Because log is only used in that part only in the whole AFM syllabus. So log, number and the base. First number, then base. Number could be from a cell. Base you have to select 2 or 3 or 4 or what. Mostly it's 2. Okay, so if the number in J11 is 8, base is 2. Okay, that means it's a logarithm of 8 with a base 2. Okay, answer would be 3 only. Next, very interesting, net present value. We all know manually how to do net present value, right? Deduct cash outflows from cash inflows, find the present value of all, add the the cash inflows, the present value of the cash inflows, and deduct the initial investment, that is outflow, and find the net present value. But that's a long cut. What about shortcut? What if you're running short of time? So this is what you have to do. But still you have to do the table, by the way. Cash flow table you have to do. That there's no shortcut. You need to do inflow and outflow. But that discounting process, that finding present value and all, there this will help you. That discounting process, rather than individually year 1, year 2, year 3 finding present value and then finding net present value, there you can use this function. First is the rate, then value 1, 2, 3, whatever the cells you want to discount. Remember, first is the discount rate, comma. So rate, comma, value 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So let's say here value discount rate is 10%. So if the discount rate is 10%, it will be 0.1, comma, the cells that you want to discount. That means cash, the net cash flow that you want to discount. But deducting cash outflows from cash inflows, manually you have to do it on the table. There is no change. Older discounting process formula. Okay. So B1 to E12, right? But when you are taking B1 to E12, understand that B12 should be year 1, not year 0. That means initial investment, because see, initial investment, there's no discount. Why? It is in year 0, no? It will be the same amount. Discounting starts from year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, not year 0. So then separately you have to deduct that amount, initial investment, from that answer, even if you have found. Then only you will get your correct net present value. We'll do a question on this, okay, later on. So 10%, 0.1, B2 to E12, B2 being the year 1, year 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Okay. If let's say the discount rate is now 20%, it will be 0.2, comma, the cell. Next is IRR. This is value and guess. Guess means IRR, it's a trial and error, we don't know. So you can just put any discount rate there. Any discount rate means once you do the net present value, obviously before doing IRR, in any question you see, you're always asked to do net present value, right? So once you do net present value, you know you are getting a positive net present value with the discount rate or negative, right? So let's say with 10% discount rate, you are getting a positive net present value. So tell me, IRR should be more or less? IRR means you are trying to bring net present value to zero. A rate where net present value is zero, no positive, no negative. So you have to bring that positive net present value down. So the discount rate should be more than 10%. Higher the discount rate, lower the net present value. Lower the discount rate, higher the net present value. Remember this. It's the opposite. So if with the 10% discount rate, it's giving a positive net present value, your discount rate should be higher to get the net present value down to negative or at least less than what you're currently getting. So it should be, so you can just have a guess, maybe at 20% you can take or 15%, but it should be more than 10% only. Anything more than 10% is fine. So just use, you don't have to do trial and error. Just put anything more than 10% in that function. It will give you the IRR. That means you can use 11% also. You can test with 15% also. So here, first the value. In the net present value, first we use the rate, then the value. Here is the opposite. First the value, then the rate. So value, let's say 15%. Values B15 to F15. Okay. Here B15, the first cell that you're using should be year 0. Okay. Remember this. In net present value, we start from year 1, but here we start from year 0. And then the discount rate, let's say 12%. Natural log, this also we use for real option only. But since now Black-Scholes option pricing model is there, all this work is now, you don't have to do all this work any longer. So let's say, and to do natural logarithm, it should be a number on a number. Okay. So if, let's say the number in B5, cell B5 was 1. So natural logarithm of 1 will be 0. E, exponential. Let's say exponential in the D7, cell D7, D7, let's say it's 2. That means E to the power 2, exponential to the power 2. That is the meaning of it, which will give you 7.3891. Remember, there's a calculator also. Remember, I showed you calculators there on a CBE platform. You can use that calculator also to do all this, but it will waste a lot of time because manually you have to keep typing in that calculator. So use Excel for it. Now, because Black-Scholes option pricing model is there, you don't even have to use Excel also. Straight away, it will calculate. Cumulative normal distribution. Here, this also you need. All this, in fact, the function is mostly used for your real option pricing model only. E, cumulative normal distribution, then log, square root, power. Okay, so equal to normal. So you just write NORM S DIST. Okay, make sure you know the correct spelling. Okay, for example, for E it will be equal to EXP. So let's say you click one cell, and let's say in that number, in that cell the number was 1.4. So it will take the normal distribution of 1.4. You can always check that table also. Remember, there will be a table in your formula sheet. Open it and see. Cumulative normal distribution table is there. So in that, if you go to 1.4, you will see this number 0.9192. Rather than going through that table, struggling so hard and finding it, use this function and save time. Normal distribution table of that number, it will automatically give you that number. That number should be a 4-digit number. Okay. In that table, everything is 4-digit number. So 0.9192. Okay. And when you're taking normal distribution also of a number, that number should be of 2-digit, 2 decimal places. So here 1.4 means when you see the table 1.40. So first you have to find horizontally, then you have to find vertical. It takes a lot of time. Okay. MIRR, the last function, and we are end. So here values first. It is similar to IRR. The only difference is IRR also have values. MIRR also have first values. Then, but in MIRR it's more complex. There are 2 numbers, 2 rates. IRR only 1 rate. Here it has finance rate and reinvestment rate. Okay. So here, let's say you want to take from cell B25 to F25, and both finance rate and investment rate is 12%. That's why we are using 0.12, again 0.12. Three numbers are there: value, comma, finance rate, comma, reinvestment rate. Okay, that's why 0.12 you have to take twice. If you take one, it will not perform the function for you because the other one is empty. So 0.12, comma, 0.12. Okay, and here also same like IRR. First cell should be, it should take from year 0 only. Year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Only in net present value are starting from year 1. Both IRR, MIR are starting with year 0. What is this finance rate and reinvestment rate? You have to go through MIRR for that. Okay. I know I can tell you, but I want you to do the hard work and go to my lecture under AFM, MIRR and check what are the two rates, finance rate and what the reinvestment rate means. So that's it for this. I hope that I've done justice to it and I've covered all the relevant areas for AFM, all the tools that you need for AFM. Now it's your job. You have to be there. You have to expose yourself to that environment on CBE platform. Make sure that you know how to navigate, how to open, resize window, and copy paste from one thing to another thing. Sometimes you cannot copy paste also. Learn those things also. So do as many mistakes as possible. Okay, do lots of mistakes in fact on your CBE platform while you're practicing. It helps you a lot. Why? Because if you made a mistake while you're practicing, you know what are the things you should not do on the day of the exam. It should not be the other way around. That you should be perfect while you're practicing, and on the day of the exam you mess it up. It should not be like that. And trust me, AFM is not at all hard as you think. But the real struggle with AFM is AFM has lots of calculations that you need to do, heavy calculations compared to other papers like SBR or AAA or SBL. There you have to write. Writing is still easier. But when it comes to calculation and writing, you have to shift your mind from calculation to writing. It becomes a little difficult there. Heavy calculations you have to deal with. But if you practice under time conditions on CB platform, you know how to move from one area to another very quickly within a short span of time. Trust me, it will boost your confidence and moral on the day of the exam. Not even on the day of the exam. While you're practicing, you know where you stand. If you are doing well in your practice session towards the end, obviously in the first few attempts you will not do so well. That means you are improving, you're on the right track. So don't check your marks. Maybe you're doing some mocks or giving to someone to mark, or some online you are giving someone and you are getting marks, let's say 40%, 50%. Don't become sad for it. Okay, but take it as a learning that now you know where you stand. But you should not be too happy and overconfident also if you get very good marks in mocks while practicing. Sometimes the situation reverses on the day of the exam. You should not be too overconfident nor underconfident. You should have the right balance. And first, deal with the numbers. These are last minute hacks I'm giving for AFM. I often don't get much time to come to you and give you advice or talk to one since I have so many people questioning me and asking me last minute, ma'am, last minute hacks, last minute tips for SBRs, so many subjects. So it's not possible for me to reach out to you individually. That's why I'm, uh, whatever important things that came to my mind, I'm just discussing right now. So these are the last minute few hacks and tips. Start with the calculations first and attempt question number 1 first, because 90 marks, sorry, 50 marks, 10 marks professional marks. Okay, make sure that you write in the form of a report in question 1. Watch my previous lecture professional skills and this one together. After that, watch this, or after this also you can watch professional skills. Make sure you watch both the videos so that you perform even well and it boosts your confidence in AFM. Okay, and once you're done with calculations, explain them, then focus on your discussion questions also. Your writing ability also should be good. It should not be excessively calculation, not just writing. You should have both the skills. take care of our professional skills, and do sleep well, because if you don't sleep well, you cannot do heavy chunks of calculations on the day of the AFM. Trust me, the day before I went to the exam, I had a very good sleep. Don't study last minute. Don't study the day before or a day one or two. Okay, just quick revision is fine, but don't study extensively. Okay, it should not stress you out physically nor mentally. And don't talk to anyone and don't listen to anything. Don't talk among yourself with students, because they will try to make you more panic, and they themselves are stressed out, right? So if you talk to your friends about how exam will be, oh my god, I'm very scared, they are going to make you more scared. Trust me. So have faith in God and best of luck and do well and make me a proud mentor, and do share me your results. I'll be waiting on the other hand for your results. Take care, God bless you, and all the best.